would you be able to hike a trail across the country for 2 years? Well, our next guest, Briana DeSanctis, did just that. Before we speak with her, here is her story.
So many birds.
2 years ago, on January 1st, 2022, Briana DeSanctis set out on a mission to complete a coast-to-coast trek on the American Discovery Trail. Starting in Delaware, she hiked 6,800 miles through 15 states.
I walked through some of the most diverse temperatures I've ever been in, ever. I hit temperatures well below zero. The extreme heat was really hard in some spots in the desert.
I'm out here in the desert in Utah and it's really, really hot.
Can you see how much I'm sweating? I'm excited.
Yesterday was the day from hell.
I love it when it rains.
The treacherous journey took 2 years to complete. And on February 10th of this year, she reached the Pacific Ocean and stepped her way into the history books.
Unbelievable. To tell us more about her incredible journey, Briana joins us live.
Yes.
Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Absolutely, and I love your little troll on the desk that right there that you took on the trip. That's so cute.
There's a big story about Raffi. Her name is Raffi, first of all, and you're going to be seeing a lot more of her and her little companion Ducky in the future.
I can't wait. Now, when you reached the Pacific Ocean and we saw your feet hit that water, you became the first woman to solo thru-hike the American Discovery Trail. What were your emotions? Like, what did you discover about yourself?
When I was on trail, I looking back now, I realized how much perseverance I had. When I walked into the water, however, it was kind of sad. It was a little bit sad to be finished because it was a long time coming. Here I was hiking on this trail for over 2 years, enjoying it, living in what I call complete freedom. And just to know that it was over and there's literally no further to walk. And it was a little bit sad. But I was very surprised. Some of my family came there. I didn't know they were going to be there. I had the huge white American Discovery Trail banner that they had put up on the beach. So I could see that for 2 miles. So I knew that the people that were way down there were waiting for me to finish. So it was very surreal to me. And I don't even know if I've still had any time to really soak it in.
That's amazing.
That's very cool. I love to travel, and I know trips are filled with many highs and lows. That's part of the adventure. But in Nevada, you were scraped up by thorns, and then the next day you had to be rescued. Wow, that looks pretty bad. Could you tell us about those days?
You know, that looks so much worse than I remember it. It was so painful. What happened was I was walking through this place in Nevada called Water Canyon. And I was only, by the time I had to stop for the night, I was only half a mile from what would have been the trail. We use that term lightly because it was just a ravine with a stream running through it and tons of thorn bushes. So the next morning I had to camp out on a tiny patch of rocks, and the next morning I decided the only way to get out was to climb out of the canyon because I was completely blocked and I could not make it anywhere further. So I sat up there I climbed up the canyon and I got to a place where it was getting too steep for me to get out. My sunglasses had fallen off. I had lost my hat. I threw my trekking poles down because I needed to have all 4 points of contact to climb the steepness.
Oh my goodness.
And all that loose rock just kept sliding me back down. And it was only a matter of time before I was too tired to keep self-arresting. And I took one strap off my backpack. I sat on this rock. And there I am looking a little bit forlorn. And that's the steepness of it. If I had gone down one more time and couldn't stop, I wouldn't be here telling you this story right now. So I pushed the button on my Garmin InReach and I talked to some really nice dispatchers. And then these 4 guys came out from who knows where, and 2 guys hiked up to take me out of there. All I needed was someone to take my backpack because I couldn't get out of there with my pack. And the way they came in was the same way I visualized getting out. So that made me feel a little bit better because it kind of hurts your pride a little bit when you have to, for me anyway, you know, I've hiked almost all the way across the United States in any type of weather imaginable, faced so many obstacles, and this is not going to be how I'm going out.
We won't hold it
Ooh,
against you.
child.
Well,
Well,
that's
so great.
amazing.
let's talk about the logistics of hiking a trail for 2 years. How were you able to replenish your food and water supply?
It was honestly all across the board. When I was in the east or when I was going through more urban areas, I was able to carry less food because there were more places to stop and resupply. But typically, on average, I would be prepared for 4 to 5 days of food. And when I was in Utah, Nevada area, even in Nevada specifically, I had to have food and water caches buried for me underground, which consisted of 5-gallon buckets that I packed with food. And I had GPS coordinates. My dad and stepmom actually came out for a little while to help me, and they buried them for me. And we packed all those buckets, and I plotted points with the GPS. And I would get a description of where they were, how many paces you turn this many degrees and whatever, and you have to dig for this. And in Utah, it was all about the water. I had all water, but in Nevada, I needed food and water. So it was kind of a little fun treasure hunt, but of course you're starving and you're thirsty. So you're like, this is kind of fun, but it's kind of like necessary too. So I was always happy. Plus, I got to tell you a little secret. Every one of those buckets had 2 beers in it. And it was really the driving force to get.
Yes, I love it.
I love
Priorities,
Carrot on the
Briana.
stick.
Thank you for sharing your incredible story with us today. To our viewers, Briana's mission is to educate, inspire, and empower others through motivational speaking. To learn more, visit Briana's website. We have it right there on the screen. Thank you again, Briana.
So cool.
We'll be right back.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a blast. Thank you.
Thank you.